Yes, sir. Today we are at one of the most famous lakes in the world, which is Lake Guntersville.
Oh my God, what a bass. I'm talking about the Bassmaster Classic, baby. Look at that. Woo!
This place is absolutely loaded with fish, and I have fished here before, but it was literally over 15 years ago. I have owned 3 different bass boats since I have been here, and although it is one of the most famous bass lakes in the world, it is probably the most pressured body of water in the United States. This thing literally, I have been out here, you know, 15 years ago where I saw literally probably 300, 400 boats out there on the water. So today I have a good day. I have about an 8-hour day, and I'm trying to hit about 17 pounds. That's my goal weight. Like I said, I have not been here. I have not fished it in a long time, but we're dealing with some pretty winter-esque conditions. As a matter of fact, right now the air temperature is about 43 degrees. I just put the boat in, and the water temperature is 42.5. So definitely a little bit colder than I was wanting, but I know that this place has a lot of fish. I started off in an area that actually I am familiar with. I have caught fish here in the past, but like I said, it was over 15 years ago. So I just put the boat in the water. I'm gonna explore this kind of little section of the lake, really make it into my own lake, and then hopefully after maybe catching a few fish, I'll be able to apply what I learned in this creek to other creeks. That's kind of my game plan going in. Now the thing about Guntersville is there is a tremendous amount of grass in this lake. I mean, you have all types of eelgrass, milfoil, hydrilla. I know that over the years, just from doing some research, the eelgrass has really taken over, and it is really good because it provides the bass with a ton of habitat, but it also can make it very difficult when it comes to fishing because that eelgrass floats on the top of the surface, and it can foul up your baits very quickly. So now this lake is famous for bridge fishing. You've seen Bassmaster Classics multiples won here on bridges, and I may hit a bridge or two throughout the day. They're always a good funnel point for these bass, but I love to fish grass, and so I really want to come here, try to expand on the grass, try to find maybe a school of fish in the grass. Now for me, I think my #1 search bait is going to be a jerk bait. So I'm actually gonna have a few different jerk baits rigged up and ready to go. I'll also probably fish a lipless crankbait, probably a standard crankbait. I really like the DT series of Rapala's in colder water, so maybe a DT6, a DT8, and then you got to have, you know, some jig head minnow type stuff mixed in there as well. But those 3 baits, a lipless, a crankbait, and a jerk bait, I think are be my primary weapons to come out here and to try to locate some fish. So I'm really excited to get out here. Hopefully the fish are biting. We're about to find out. It's very cold water, and hopefully we can catch that 17-pound mark. Now, as you guys know, one of the biggest things that I like to do is start really close to the boat ramp. I kind of have this saying, if I don't know where to go, I don't like to go anywhere at all. And so I like to start pretty close to the main boat ramp. There's a few kind of humps out in this this area that I have here. I'm kind of in towards the lower third of this particular creek, and there's a few humps out here. I'm seeing some birds out there, so I'm hoping that there's some bait out there as well. I'm gonna see if there's some grass on these humps. These fish might be relating, kind of staging on these humps kind of before they make their push back as that water starts to warm for springtime and really for the pre-spawn. So I'm starting out here. I'm just gonna kind of mill around, throw this jerk bait a lot, maybe throw a lipless crankbait depending on how shallow. You know, if I'm getting into some shallower water, I don't doubt that the fish could be around some shallows, and we're going to see if they won't hit a lipless or even a chatterbait. But you can see in the water there is a ton of floating grass. Unfortunately, this can really make it a bear to fish any type of bait with ease, I guess you could say, out here. So coming up on one of these first little points, I'm gonna throw the jerkbait to start out with, and looks like I am already getting some grass coverage. Now for the first hour, I decided to just hit these random small humps that were all over this particular creek. And the thing was, even though I wasn't catching any bass, I was definitely seeing some life in the area. I was seeing some bait fish, and I was definitely seeing some bass. I was even getting some followers on my jerkbait. And every time that I thought I was about to leave this particular area or move somewhere else in the creek, I would get one of these followers, and it would just keep me honed in on this particular area. So I just continued to move the boat and fish as many of these small humps and drops as I could. There's one. All right. Finally. Got a fish to commit. Oh yeah. That's a good one to start. Oh gosh, of course he's got one hook. Of course he has one hook. How come they can't have more than that? That is a good one to start. See if I can get another hook in him. I got another hook in him. All right, I'm gonna flip. Ooh, let's go. All right, baby. My first Guntersville bass in a long time. Look at that, baby. We finally caught us one. So it's taken a while. I wouldn't say that I've been around, I've been around enough fish to keep me interested, but I haven't had one be able to commit. Again, we're looking for 17 pounds. This is a great fish, 328 to start. I know that there's a lot bigger fish in this body of water, but to start with that one, I'm pumped. So finally got one to commit. Chunky, fat fish. Caught him on the Berkeley Stunna +1. Just a great way to get started. We've been fishing for about an hour and 15 minutes. So finally got us one. This fish is cold though. I'm gonna let him get back in the water. But man, I tell you what, I've been fishing a lot of the same stuff, and every time I get ready to leave, I see a couple of fish, or a group of fish that are interested in the bait, where I'm like, that is a bass 100%. I've seen a lot of other fish that I think they might be drum, maybe carp. I'm not exactly sure. But finally, I'm so pumped to get one, because I feel like I've been just wrestling with these fish. And so hopefully we're on to something. I'm seeing enough activity to really just kind of stay in this area. There's a lot of little points, a lot of little drops where I think there could be more fish. But for 41.5 degree water temp, I am pumped to get it underway, pumped to get it started with a fish. So let's keep after it. Now, real quick, if you guys would like to help support this channel, help me bring more videos like this to you, then consider shopping at Fin Fishing. Fin Fishing is an apparel brand that I started back in 21, and I'm really proud to say that I have one of the only USA made sun shirts out there on the market. I also have hats, I have shorts, I have a number of different products, and more are coming. So I'm gonna leave some links down below in the description. Again, shopping at Fin Fishing is truly the best way to help support this channel, and I greatly appreciate it. I feel like the bass might be getting a touch more active. Had a lot of followers. There's one right there, right as I was saying it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. There's a couple more down there. That fish, it seems like they might actually like it fast, which is weird for 41 degree. Let's go. Yes. Solid fish right there. I mean, just a little meat wagon. That one actually caught on the deeper jerkbait, and man, he got the front hook that time. I had one fish follow me up from that area, and there's 2 or 3 down there. So hopefully we can't get another. All right, guys, just got fish number 2, and I'm pumped because there's a few more down there. But man, it just feels so good. That one's probably just under 3. These fish are so healthy, so fat. I love it. Oh, he's, yep, 295. He was actually a little closer to 3 than I thought he would be. Solid fish though. Beautiful fish. Look how green that fish is. Been hanging out in that grass. 41 degree water temp, 41.5, 42, and still able to catch some fish. So I'm gonna get this fish back, and I'm gonna try to get some more. That was awesome though. Gosh, that was sweet. There's one. Oh yeah. Let's go. Look at that fish. Okay. Look at that. Chunker, man. Look at the different color that fish has on it. All right, we just got fish number 3. If you can notice, there's a huge difference in this fish and the other ones that I've caught. And you can see that this fish was actually kind of out. He was in like 15, 16 foot of water, out there a little bit deeper. And you can see, look at the complexion of that fish. A lot lighter in color. And so pretty cool just to see that you had those fish that were a little bit shallower, that really had that dark, they were relating a little bit more to the grass, where this fish was kind of out in the open. So just a little bit different color fish. I want to make sure that that's a keeper. I believe the keeper length is 15 inches on this link. So let's make sure he is 15, which he is almost 16 actually. So solid chunky fish right there, man. So awesome. Gosh, I love it. I love any way you can catch a fish, but it's been a little while, well, about a year since I've been on a real good jerkbait bite. So this is just a lot of fun. That fish weighs 220 on the dot. 220 on the dot. So that is a little over 8 pounds, about 8.5 pounds with 3. So we're making our way to 17. We still got a ways to go, but we finally kind of got in a good vein here where there's some fish. So man, this is a ball. I love this so much. So right now what I'm doing is, I'm pretty sure I could go back kind of through the areas that I have caught some fish and catch some more. But I just kind of want to keep expanding. I'd love to find an area where I'm catching, you know, this lake is very capable of very big bags. So I'd love to find an area where I could catch some 4 and 5 pounders. I'm not saying I can't over there, but I haven't seen that class of fish yet. And so I'm just kind of making my way over to kind of the next little subtle point. I've kind of been just targeting these little subtle points and drops with eelgrass on them. And that's basically what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Trying to keep it simple and just put my bait in front of as many fish as I can right now. And hopefully we can catch us a good bag of fish. Come on, fish. Man, good opportunity there to catch a couple. A lot of fish are, I don't know, I might have to change up my color a little bit, maybe go with something a little more translucent. Dadgummit. I do kind of wonder if they'd hit an Alabama rig. God dadgummit. Oh gosh, I missed him. Dadgum, I found a group of them. Found a group of them right through here. I am Now, after fishing the mouth of this particular creek with no success, I kind of looked at a map and noticed that there were a couple of humps and points that were just up the lake from me. So I decided to run to them because I thought that they set up a lot similarly to the humps where I'd caught those fish earlier in the day. There he is. That feels like a good one. That feels like a really good one. Come on, fish. That's a good one. Barely hooked though. Barely hooked. Come here, buddy. How come they're always barely hooked? It's a 4-pounder. Maybe close. Maybe not quite 4. Yes. Yes, sir. Oh man, barely had that thing. Look at that bad boy. That's got to be pushing 4. All right, guys, just got our 4th fish, and I tell you what, we kind of were a little bit slow to start, and then we kind of went through a period where we caught a bunch. Or caught 3. Those 3 were all within about a half hour, and then I just, like, it died out and completely switched up locations, ran a little bit further down the lake to something that kind of set up similarly, and found a group of fish. Yes, sir, that's a 429. Yes, 429 right there. Solid fish. There was a handful with them too. But that brings us up to a little under 13 pounds. So if we can get another 4-pounder plus, that's really going to help us. Look at that. That's beautiful fish right there. Yes, sir. Now, after exploring many humps and drops in this particular area and not getting any other bites, I decided that I was going to make a large move to a different creek. So I actually made my way about 20 minutes away from where I had been fishing to fish in another creek. But long story short, nothing panned out in this area. A few followers on a jerkbait, but I never hooked up with fish, and I just felt like I was seeing a lot less fish than the creek that I had originally started in. So with about an hour and a half to go in the day, I decided to make a run back to the creek where I'd started and refish some of those humps where I'd seen so many fish in the morning. Got maybe number 5, I'm not sure. I'm not keeping them in a live well, so probably doesn't really matter, but oh, he's gonna be close. Gosh, I mean, just touching 15. But came back to that little area kind of where I got some bites earlier, and haven't seen a ton of fish, just a couple. It's a 165. So we definitely need to get rid of, I got 2 that I really need to get rid of if I want to get to 17 in the next hour. A 220 in this guy. So we're a little over 14 pounds, almost 14 and a half. We'll let him go. But I don't know. It's been a very weird day, but I'm gonna try to get this done. I'm gonna try to catch, I want to catch one more giant. All right, guys, well, it is officially a little after 4 o'clock. I got here a little after 8 o'clock, so we fished for almost 8 hours. And I'm not gonna lie, the day ended up being kind of what I thought it would be. When I put the boat in the water and saw that the water temperature was 41, 42 degrees, I was like, ooh, man, that is just a little bit cold, especially on a humongous body of water that I have not been to in a very long time. So, but with that being said, I fished for about an hour and I saw some fish, but I hadn't caught any. And then within about a half hour, I caught 3 decent fish. Like, it was like bam, bam, bam. And after I caught those 3 fish, I thought that the floodgates were about to just open up. I thought that I was going to be able to go at will and kind of catch a lot of fish today, and that just did not materialize. I really had to run around a lot, and the biggest thing that I noticed was that every place that I went, there just seemed to be less and less and less fish throughout the day. It almost seemed like they were more active this morning and then just kind of died throughout the rest of the day. I found some areas that had a lot of bait in it as well, and they were just completely vacant of bass. So I don't really understand it. I know it's the winter time. I know we're dealing with a lot of cold front conditions here, so that's a little bit to be said, but I didn't hit my 17-pound mark. I ended up with 5 fish for a little over 14, almost 14 and a half pounds. Still had a good day, still learned something, but I definitely didn't hit my goal. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, I think that you will like all of the lake break series of videos that I do. And I'm actually gonna leave the playlist right up here. So if you guys wanna watch more of this style of video, click this one next. And guys, I'll see you on over there.